Welcome to Inside the Nation. I am your host, Eric Thurow, and welcome to our third season. I believe this is our third season. We actually started in 2016. Yeah, this is actually our fourth season. Pardon me, lost count, but fourth season, but our third full season because in 2017 we had some scheduling conflicts. We couldn't do a full season of episodes. So, but I want to welcome back. We're here and we're better. We're going to have our show Inside the Nation on multiple platforms, and besides our homepage, our website, Ninth Man Nation. So let's get this season started. Everybody's looking forward to the 32nd season of the Arena Football League, as I am. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know it's a little bit more difficult for me personally because there's no teams. I guess now the closest team is the new expansion team in Ohio, which we'll get to in a moment. But with that said, welcome everybody in the Ninth Man Nation fan base out there. Welcome to the two new cities that are going to be having their fan bases there. Ninth Man in Atlantic City and Ninth Man in Columbus. Or welcome back, I should say, for Columbus. So I think this is their third stint with the Arena Football League. So with that said, some of the talking points we'll have on this episode for the debut season is, of course, to introduce everything, what's going on, AFL schedule, the playoff format, the two expansion seasons, which I basically already gave word of. I had a sit-down interview yesterday with the director of football operations, Dominic Jones for Columbus. So he returns home, and then we will discuss a little bit about the AFL broadcasts of games. Now, just to give everybody a peace of mind where you can find that this year, the video format, what we're going to do is I'm going to be doing the scheduling for Inside the Nation. It's going to work like this. The video format here, as you're watching here, this format of discussing the weekly news and all that stuff and conversations will be up on our YouTube channel, primarily there. But now you can also be able to watch it on Facebook. So I'm going to be uploading it to both channels to give more exposure video-wise, because those are long format video platforms. I could do it there. And then I will try to get it on IGTV for Ninth Man Nation, but that's kind of weird because they want to switch it, from a standard, 16:9 to a 9:16, which is not the standard video format. So that has yet to be seen. So I want to work on that format. I want to make use of that platform while it's there, to make as much exposure for the league and the content and information that we have, that I have available, that I reach out and also some of the interactions with some of the personnel and fans and players and so forth that I will be having on the show this year. So with that said, that's what I'm working on for the video platform. With the audio podcast platform, you can reach us on our main platform, which is Spreaker. So it's Spreaker.com/show/Inside the Nation. You can get it on ninthmannation.net/podcast, and we will have the link to all our other podcast platforms, which include iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iTunes if it's on your desktop, Google Podcasts if it's an Android phone, or if it's not, you have to download Google Play Music. But actually, Google Play Music doesn't have it anymore. So, but anyway, Google Podcasts, we are there, or Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Overcast, Castbox, and Anchor FM. So we're going to have the audio version of this everywhere. And if you follow us on any of those platforms, especially like Apple Podcasts or what have you, or on TuneIn, you can search for us also on your home assistant, your smart home assistants, like the Amazon Echo devices, the Google Home devices, and the Apple HomePod devices. The Microsoft Cortana devices that is out there, they have one thing. I know they're teaming it with Amazon Echo, but the Cortana, I'm not sure what they would work, but I'm sure they were available on there if you have a Cortana device, which is made by Harman Kardon. But anyways, we're there, so our audio is all over the place. You can take it home, and of course you can listen to it on your phone, smartphone, and tablet. So very easy to access our information and our show content. That is our main first page. Our second show that we introduced, that I introduced last year, basically towards like the halfway point of last year, towards the end of last year, was a Facebook Live Q&A. I want to make an announcement that those kind of jumped on to the middle part of last year, so not too many people were aware of it. But I am going to plan on having it. I believe this time next week when I come up with episode 2 of Inside the Nation, I'll have more of a release date, or we'll have it a release date. It'll be closer towards the season, towards the end of April when the season starts. I might have it on the week of the first week of the games, the last week in April. So that might be on a Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's when that's going to be on. It depends on my schedule availability myself. And then the third show we're going to have is going to be a continuation of last week. We introduced it, and that's going to be on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ninthmannation. Once again, I'll have all the links to all our video show content pages, so you can subscribe and follow, whatever have you, or add us to your favorites for all our show pages, and also all our podcasting platforms in the description below here on the YouTube channel, and also on our Facebook watch page. So with that said, that's going to be twitch.tv/ninthmannation, and that's for a post-game live show. Basically within, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes of the last game of the week. Now, there's going to be 3 games this year each week, except for those on bye weeks. Excuse me. So upon the completion of the last game, not every single game, but the last game played for that week, I will jump on live Twitch. It'll be via mobile, twitch.tv, via the mobile device, and I will jump on and we'll do a little discussion and questions about the games that just transpired for that week, and then and just to create a conversation. And that's the whole point of the Inside the Nation. Is I want to bring a conversation to this league and try to keep it growing, keep it going. So even though some of the news and all the stuff that I bring up can be, general conversation, general good news, but there also could be some questions and, true news of what's going on, or doubts that may speculate in rumors or anything that you have. So, but anyways, let's get to the show. So let's start off with the schedule. The schedule is a 12-week schedule of gameplays, but it's actually 13 weeks long. There is a 1-week bye week in there. I think that's towards like week 10 or week 11, or towards the end, week 9 or week 10. There will be a bye week there. The playoff format, or going back to the regular season schedule, each team will have 6 home games, 6 road games. That said, Columbus AFL, the expansion team, even though I was supposed to announce that later, I guess I just did that. So Columbus AFL will be playing their home games at Nationwide Arena. Tickets, I want to announce that tickets are on sale, or deposits are on sale right now at columbusafl.com, and you can put your deposits down for $25, and then they'll get in contact with you regarding that as far as for seat selection, and how they're still building a front office. And as you hear my conversation later on, which I will have with Dominic Jones, more information will be given in that conversation about what you can do for your seats and what Columbus's ninth man can do to prepare for the city to have arena football back in its location. So Atlantic City will be playing at the Boardwalk Hall, which was built almost 100 years ago, 1929. So that's an old building, but I'm sure they've kept it up. It's a classic building there in Atlantic City. So Boardwalk Hall will be home of Atlantic City's ninth man. And I believe ticket deposits on Atlantic City's website, Atlantic City AFL, is $50. So that's what's going on there. And then, of course, you got the Philadelphia Soul. They play at the Wells Fargo Center. There's been, I guess, a little bit of a question about whether they are going to be able to have their home games there at Wells Fargo Center, because I'm hearing that Spectacor, which owns the Philadelphia Flyers NHL team and the arena, is going to be putting up a new jumbotron, a new video board up in the center. So they're going to do it, of course, during the arena football. Every time something happens, it has to take away from the arena football. But from what the Philadelphia Soul has responded, that they are going to be playing their home games there. They just may or may not have a jumbotron. I remember this happened. I think it was the last season, towards the end of the last season of the LA Kiss game in 2016, where the Honda Center in Anaheim also redid their Jumbotron, and there was no Jumbotron board there. Good thing they had video boards on the end of the arena's walls, so not just the one in the center floating down from the ceiling. So, but with Wells Fargo Center, yeah, they're doing it too. So with that said, that's the what else you got? Well, Washington Valor will be playing their home games at Capital One Arena. Baltimore Brigade will be playing their home games at Royal Farms Arena in downtown Baltimore. And we got Albany Empire, last year's expansion team, Albany Empire, playing at the Times Union Center in downtown Albany. So contact your teams if you're in the area regions of these cities and these arenas. Contact the teams and get your seats, get your deposits in, or renew your tickets or whatever have you. It's going to be an exciting year of arena football. And that's it. Oh, to add to my point talking, there is going to be a special announcement made about surely a Arena Football Hall of Fame. If I want to make this plea out that I've done it before, I did all last year too. Commissioner Randall Bowe, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this via our podcast, bring back the Hall of Fame. If you're going to try to so-called keep the integrity of the game, or you want the integrity of the game to be strong, the one thing that you need to bring back for the integrity of the game and the league is to bring back the AFL Hall of Fame. Let's start inducting some of the great players of past and coaches and staff members and officials that have, done their duty just due in the league to help make the league grow or even last this long through the restart. Let's honor these guys and the great players from the past and stuff. So bring back the Hall of Fame. Let's do that. I guess what else do I have? I guess the next will be with the Dominic Jones interview. I discussed with him yesterday some talking points on welcoming him to Columbus. He's now the director of football operations with Columbus. We jokingly mentioned about announcing the team, and we went over about when any kind of announcements would be made with that or what have you. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. That's a nice conversation that I had. And then we'll go over the AFL broadcasts. After the interview with Dominic Jones, I'll go over, come back on here, and I'll discuss, to close out the show, where you'll be able to find the Arena Football League games on TV or what have you, or local TVs or streamed or whatever. But that's it. So let me go ahead and take this time and introduce you to Dominic Jones. He's the director of football operations. I don't know why I keep on saying player, because he used to be a player. Dominic Jones used to be DB for the Cleveland Gladiators. He had one stint with Orlando Predators when they had their, I guess you could say, all-star cast of crew up down there in O-Town, and they went up and went to the conference championship and unfortunately lost to the Soul. But yeah, he was the DB of Cleveland Gladiators for multiple seasons. He also was football operations there for Cleveland and also a coach for the Gladiators. He also helped out with the Cavs for a little bit for a season. So he's got some front office experience, and he's overall just a good guy, and he's a true, genuine AFL. He likes the history. He's a historian of the league, so he appreciates the league. He appreciates the fans. So why don't you go ahead and toss it over to our sit-down from yesterday. I want to welcome you to our very first episode for 2019 season and an expansion season.
Yes.
For the Arena Football League. I want to welcome you, Dominic.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
So how we heard that you just got recently named to the director of football operations of the new Columbus AFL team that's yet to be named. Even though I know there's speculations out there of what's going on, what the name could be, and what may be named, but so how you liking the new job and as a role of transitioning from being a player with the Gladiators? People saw you wreck shop with the Gladiators in front of the Cleveland's ninth man. How like the transition?
It's been great. I think that when I made the transition from 2015, my last year into the front office for the Gladiators for 2 years, I coached for 2 years. Started working for the Cavs after that as well, and transitioned to that, working with hockey as well. So the transition from football to front office of sports has been great for me. It's been um, a tremendous learning experience. I think that most players don't really get a chance to see this other side of the fence, so to speak. So I think that because I was a player and because I was a pro player too, I still have that mentality, to want to see them do, things outside of football and just be overall successful. I think it's going to help me tremendously in this road I'm in right now. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Okay, so like you mentioned that you have experience being on the field and coaching in the coaching's benches and all that stuff. Now transitioning to the front office. Let's bring some of the viewers and maybe some of the new refreshed viewers, especially in Columbus, since Columbus hasn't had a team since 2008.
Yeah.
When Joey, I just slipped his name.
Callaway.
Callaway, yeah, Callaway
Yeah.
and Jim Renacci, were the owners of the team, and
Yep.
let's give some the C-Bus people knowing your history in the Arena Football League. Like, what teams did you play for in the past besides just the recent Cleveland Gladiators?
Well, man, I came into the league in 2011, 2012, and I was a rookie in Cleveland. And at that period of time, it was a lot of teams. It was a lot of teams then, and from Utah to Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. That was one of our rivalries.
Yeah,
Down in Cleveland, and they had Superman down there in Pittsburgh. He was a good return man, good receiver, man. We had there was a lot of good receivers in Milwaukee at that period of time. They had a good team. I think Grady was in Utah
yeah,
back then with Ron James and
yeah.
Rob and Suck. So that was earlier on, and I think even Iowa, the Barnstormers was in, back when I was playing. They had a real cold wide receiver. I think it's Schmidt. Schmidt was his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, I remember
Yeah,
him.
he was a tough cover, man. He was a tough cover. So obviously you had him. You had the West Coast teams, obviously San Jose and Arizona was doing work out there. And shoot, man. It was just a fun field league. I think everybody, the notoriety, around the country, was in a good spot. At least from our standpoint. I don't think that probably financially, we probably, was where we wanted to be as a league at that particular time. But man, it was a fun field league. We had John Dutton was my quarterback.
Oh wow.
He played obviously in the old arena, transitioned through, the lockout year in '09, and he came back and was my quarterback in 2011, 2012 in Cleveland. And so from there, I went to Orlando, played for Doug Plank.
Oh
And
wow.
out there with Doug Plank, K2, Kelvin Kinney, and K Mac, McIntyre down
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I remember him.
So that was a good group of coaches and players. We pretty much had that year. We had every All Arena defensive back, every All Arena offensive player. From T.T. Tolliver, we had Amari Jackson, we had Aaron Garcia that year. We had everybody. We had Simeon Castillo, we had Levy Brown. I can go down the list. We had Moye Moore.
Yeah, just an all-star team. Yeah.
Yeah, we had we had everybody, man. And that year, Aaron Garcia came in via trade for Cal Riley, maybe like midway through the year, and we made a late push, man. I actually got to play against Philly in a conference championship, and we ended up losing to him in the last few seconds. I think Brian Robinson stripped AG as he went back to win us the game. So we lost that game, but yeah, man, it was a great time. After that year, I came back to Cleveland, where we went on a hellified run. I think we went 17-1.
Yeah, I remember that in 2014. Yeah.
Yeah, 14. Went 17-1. Man, went through wrecking the league. We had that one hiccup in Pittsburgh. But that was a great team too. I think we was a team who felt like we was the unwanted at that particular time. We kind of took on this underdog mentality. We all came together with Willie McGinnis and Mario Norman, myself. You had Joe Finnessy playing Jack, and he was doing this thing. We had Larachi Jackson. We called ourselves a no-fly zone at that particular time.
Cool.
We was hitting everything moving. So, those was fun times. Then we had Shane Austin at quarterback.
Yeah,
and,
remember that.
Dominic Goodman and Colin Taylor. We just had Coffee, Jason Jones.
Yeah, I was going to mention Coffee Jones. You got to mention him, man.
Yeah, man, Coffee was there. Steve Tunn, Ron Selesky was the coaches. Again, it was just a good time, man. 2014, I had never been on a team like that where pretty much everyone was. It was just an unselfish vibe, and we never felt like we was out of games. I think we won 5 or 6 games within like the last second or something like that.
Yeah, that's what made it exciting for watching you guys last year. Even though I was a SaberCats fan, diehard that year, and we didn't get to the championship, because we lost to the Rattlers.
Yep.
But watching Cleveland, I was rooting for Cleveland definitely over the Rattlers.
Yeah, man, it was a crazy year, and obviously we rode through the playoffs. I think our first round we played against. I think we had to play against Philly, our first round, and
I believe so.
I think and Kaiser went off. Kaiser had 4 interceptions himself that game, and I think we only beat him like 36-34. It was a tight game. It was a fun game, but we beat them 36-34. Then we went on to the conference championship against Orlando. That was our first time playing Orlando that year, and they were loaded. They was a good team. They had Carr and a lot of those boys, and we beat them in the conference championship to go on to the Arena Bowl. And obviously there, it was a packed crowd. I think it was the second largest Arena Bowl crowd in history or something.
Yeah, it was like 17,500. And the only reason why is that I would actually consider it truly the genuine largest, because the largest one is like over 20,000, 25,000. But that was the Tampa Bay Storm when they played at like a Sunkist Dome in Tropicana Fields. So they didn't play in a true arena.
Yeah.
They played in a baseball stadium, football stadium, and then they made it down to an arena field kind of thing. And
so I'm gonna take that claim just because of you. I'm gonna take that claim.
Yeah,
man.
Cleveland's nice, man. Came to fill the queue.
They did, man. And so obviously, the season didn't end how we wanted it to. We got beat there, man, and we just didn't come to play. Those guys came out. They just outplayed us in every single way. We got down early, kind of snowballed after that. We had a few injuries suffered through that, but but it still was a great year for us.
Yeah, bringing it back that year, being in the stage is set for the AFL Arena Bowl, being in Cleveland.
Yep.
I don't know how the media took it, but was there any kind of maybe background pressure, maybe from the local media or fans that were talking, saying this is the first professional sports championship for Cleveland in a long time? Was that kind of ever the way? And then I think like the next year or 2 years later, then the Cavs took it away from you guys.
Yep, absolutely. I think, they was calling us the Cardiac Kids in the newspaper and just around town. We started building up momentum as the season was going on, more press, more media. And then after that, obviously we went to the Arena Bowl, we lost. But, the Cavs came next year, they won, and then our hockey team won a Calder Cup that year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As well. So we like to think that we kicked off that that championship or mentality around town. And, although we didn't win it, I think it was just the excitement that we created kind of helped spark the other franchises. So we kind of take credit for, a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, I think even the Indians started going big, too, and they even went to the World Series against the Cubs.
They did. And what's crazy about that, the Arena Bowl is on the same night as the Arena Bowl, we had Johnny Manziel that was starting his first game, his preseason game in Cleveland. So that was going on right down the street. And then the Indians had a game too. So we had 3 games going on simultaneously at the same time.
And imagine that. A lot of things have been rumored about the AFL saying when they have other events going on, whether it be other sporting events or just local events, that they can't compete with them. But proving that wrong, if it's done right and the marketing and advertisement gets out there, and the good product on the field, which Cleveland did that year in 2014, it could be filled. The arena could be filled. There's more than, like say 20,000 for Q, maybe 45,000 for Progressive Field, and maybe 60,000 for the Brown Stadium. If all those get filled, Cleveland's still a bigger city, so there's fans out there that could come.
Absolutely. I think that, honestly, I think it just speaks to I'm a name drop some people that probably everybody don't know, but they deserve credit. Pam Frasco, who
Yeah.
was the VP of marketing, I mean, she done a hellified job in terms of marketing the Gladiators and kind of getting them up. We didn't fluff numbers. Anybody who came and played in Cleveland, around Cleveland, know when we put our attendance numbers up, you can really turn on the tunes or if you were there, you could say, okay, yeah, it was 11 or 12,000 people there, 10,000 people there. So I just think our front office, Michael Strowski, Lynn Karowski, I mean, just our whole front office. I mean, they all put in the work. And other people, Ben Adams, and I mean, these guys really, came up with great marketing plans to get us out in the community, to get players out in the community, in a meaningful way. And I think it ultimately had a residual effect on how people love the Gladiators in Cleveland. And so I think that's why everybody kind of wants them to come back. Is because they seen, how many people was there and showing up, and they seen the ninth man there, and they seen how the fans just showed up and showed out and support the team.
Yeah, so that brings me to my next point. I was going to say, what steps did Cleveland do to relate to the fans as far as I know that I see them on their YouTube channel out there doing little football camps here and there with the
Yeah.
kids and the youth football leagues out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been doing that even when they're on the hiatus for the 2 years
Yeah.
until they come back next year.
Yep.
So what involvement did you say you have personally in experience with the fans, and how do the fans relate to the team?
Yeah, I think that obviously, when the team announced that it was going on hiatus, there's a lot of uncertainty just around the city from fans' points of views as to what was really going to happen and how active or not active what we're going to remain in the community. But I think that for us, at that particular time, me be a part of that whole thing is, we had a bigger project going on with the Q transformation,
Yeah.
and for the better half of the summer, when it's time for Gladiator season, the building would be closed,
Yeah.
for the renovation that we naturally needed. And so obviously you're gonna have a lot of people who understand that, and there was some people who really didn't, but what I think that held true was that, we wanted to remain committed to the community, like we said we would do. So regardless if it was a team here or not, we wanted to make sure that we were supporting the local high school games, that we were supporting the local youth in the city, and that we were supporting just other events going throughout, just to remain and keep those ties. And so I think that it will make an easier transition for if and when they actually come back. I think the fans will welcome with open arms.
Okay, now to make the transition. Let's make the transition. Not to put anything bad on Cleveland. You had a great stay in Cleveland, and you had your little stint in there in O-Town down in Florida.
Yeah.
So, but now, how are you going to take all the events that you've had with Cleveland, and whether as a football player, as a coach, staff member, or what have you, and your community involvement, how are you going to transition that over to becoming in Columbus, and how are you going to go forward with Columbus and doing that way?
You know what, man? I think it's for me, it's about people. It's about community. I'm a boots on ground type of person. I'm a shaking hands type of person. And Columbus is a market that's just so open and ready and embracive of the team coming back. I can't tell you how many emails and calls and just the overall excitement that I've been receiving from the team coming back. And you got to think, up to this point in time, we haven't announced a team name, a logo. We haven't held a press conference or nothing. I think we've only announced up to 7 days now. And just a tremendous amount of support that we've been receiving is crucial. And I think it makes it easier for me to go in there and just genuinely be myself. I think that, we're going to put together a plan that generally involves the community. We really want to let them know that, hey, this is your team. Just as much as it is ours, it's our team. And I saw just coming in with that mentality, I think it's going to allow us to be successful. I think that, some people may look at it and say, hey, yeah, you got a late start, but, we've got some tremendous numbers for season ticket members that's put down a deposit. So if you're in Columbus or Ohio in general, go to columbusafl.com right now, put down your deposit for season tickets. But I'm not going to give out those numbers, but I'll just say that the numbers that we've received, are record breaking as far as, people putting down, deposits for season tickets. So they're excited. We're excited. And I think that what we're going to be able to put on the field is a team that's hard nosed, that plays the game the right way, but also players and coaches and the staff that genuinely cares about the community and is going to give back. So everything that I've took from Cleveland and learned from Cleveland as a player, as a coach, then I was the director of football operations for a while too. Everything that I took from that experience, I think I'll be able to transition pretty well down there.
Yeah, so as part of the comeback, you think that you guys will reach out to some of the former players, like the now head coach and coach of the year in the NFL, Matt Nagy, and who came out from Kansas City and then from Columbus. You're going to reach out to maybe Derek Lee and all them, and bring back some of the core people from maybe 2007, 2008 season to bring them back as part of a way to get back, or maybe even entice them to come out of retirement to come play, like some other player that I'll get to you in a moment that just announced that.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. I don't know, man. I mean, you're going to have to stay tuned and see what kind of tricks we got up our sleeve, man. But I think, again, for me is, I'm a person that respects the history of the game. I'm a true historian, and just, those guys kind of paved the way, for the game to be what it is today. And so, again, I won't say anything, I won't give anything away, but, we're definitely doing our due diligence and making sure that everything that we do in Columbus is all inclusive, and so, we want everybody to feel like they're family, because they are a family. So, whether you're new, you're old, or whatever, we just want to create that family atmosphere. So I think we will. You'll see.
So could you be hinting at maybe some kind of familiarity with Columbus and maybe some kind of CD on the helmet?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe so. I mean, we got to wait and see. We got to announce a press conference here soon. And so after we do that, obviously, we'll get the fans, what they want. A lot of fans just been contacting us just wondering, hey, are you going to keep the same name, or are we going to change it? Hey, we just want to know what's the colors going to be. And so just the overall excitement. Again, my inbox and my emails are filled up. Social media, my inboxes are filled up with fans just inquiring and just being excited. So I think just the positive energy, that's kind of being built up is what players are going to love. Players are going to walk into this building. And I think that's the number one recruiting advantage here is that, hey, you're in a town that loves football. That's football through and through. Hell, Ohio in general is football through and through. And yeah. I think, the 13 or 14,000 fans that, that used to draw in Columbus, Ohio, players can guarantee, to bet yourself that, those people are going to show up and, and show out again, and so to make sure that, we're putting the best product out in the field, it's going to be all eyes on you. And so, like I said, we'll do that. We'll make sure that, again, anybody who's historically, had a hand in helping us get back to this, they'll be involved.
Yeah, you got an easy crowd. If anything, you can just go right down the street and mark it to Ohio State. They're crazy football fans there. And say, hey, don't be down that Ohio State football is done and over with. Now come indoors for the action and enjoy climate control. Good feast, good family friendly, and just one more thing: watch out for that football coming your way because you get to keep it.
Right. Well, and listen, what's crazy about it is one, football is football. From a marketing standpoint and. I always like to say, hey, we have the best indoor players in the world, and I like to really emphasize the best indoor players, indoor football players in the world. And the reason why I put an emphasis on that, because there's nothing minor league about what these guys go out and do here in the AFL.
Yeah.
And so, there's not a minor league product when you come see it. I've watched guys come from NFL rosters and from divas to back standpoint, and they can't do nothing with the high motion man. I've watched receivers come from outdoors and they can't do nothing when a receiver, when he's getting pressed up against the wall in a shorter field. It's just, what I mean? So these are all the best players in the world at what they do. And so I always like to pitch that, it's real football. It's fast, it's fun, it's friendly, it's family friendly, it's cost efficient. But I just want everybody to know that, these are professionals at what they do, and there's nothing minor league about what they do.
Okay, so are you going to announce anytime soon, or do you have a date in plan for maybe some open tryouts there locally in Columbus?
Yeah, so we're looking to lock down probably March. I won't release the date yet, but if players are wondering, or it's probably gonna be in March. We'll release that date here soon, so people can start to register for that. And maybe mentioned too at our press conference. You had to tune in and see. And so, so all that's going to be mentioned here soon.
Okay, when is this so-called press conference going to be happen? Do we have a date?
I would say probably in the next 10 days or so. I would say within that time frame, with the next 10 days. I won't give you an exact date, but it'll be here in the next 10 days for sure.
I know because everybody's jumping down my throat here as a reporter, saying, "What do you know?" Because I sort of launched hints of Columbus coming back in December. But I said it wasn't confirmed, but it's hint. And then Nationwide Arena sort of responded in a sort of non-negative way, kind of thing. They didn't deny or accept. They came neutral, so it was kind of a hint. And we're glad to have Columbus back. We want to welcome you back.
Absolutely.
Could we see some guy when he catches a touchdown run back out to midfield of the Columbus logo and do his little stand on the football and flex kind of thing? Come back and you defended him, Mr. Donovan Morgan. Come back to Seabus, remember?
Demo, Captain Morgan, right?
Yeah, Captain Morgan.
Nah, that's my guy, man. He's he was a hellified player. I know. I had to bring my hard hat and my lunch pail every time I played against him, man, because he was going to be physical. He was going to catch everything his way, man. Sometimes I felt like I had perfect coverage on that guy, and he still seemed to catch the ball. And so, nothing but respect for him, and man, I invite him and his family, his beautiful family, down to the game anytime they want to, for sure.
Well, hopefully then he's just jerseyed up with Columbus and not on the opposites, because I don't know if you heard this yet, but he announced that he's coming back into the league as a player.
Yeah, and so and listen, once I hire a coach, if they want to go Demo's way, I'm kind of out of it. I think what I want to do here as far as hiring a coach is getting somebody in here, who has a lot, a ton of respect. And is knowledgeable about the game, who's big on community, and who has the ear of the players. And so, whoever that coach is, I decide on. If they want Demo to come here and Captain Morgan to pose, hey.
Do you have any ideas of who you're looking for as a coach right now? Do you have any names?
I won't name drop, but what I'll say is that I think I have a good range of, a good variety of coaches, that I'm talking to, and some have been head coaches before, some have not, some have not even been in the league before. I think these are all candidates that deserve opportunity to at least have a conversation and actually come interview about it. I think, again, the overwhelming amount of calls and emails and texts and resumes that we receive for people that are interested in here, people that aren't even true arena coaches per se, who's never coached a game but are true football fans to the core, true football coaches to the core. They want a shot at this thing, and so it hasn't been easy for us to try to, nail down, but I think we've done our due diligence. We haven't rushed the process, so to speak. And we've, gone through stuff with a fine-tooth comb, and, we've got our select few people that we'll be interviewing here in the next week and, getting the coach announced.
So the Columbus fans, the people of Columbus and nearby communities have something really good to look forward to this spring and summer.
Absolutely, man. Listen, we're going to be good. I can feel it. We're going to be good, and our crowd is going to play a huge role in that. Our community is going to play a huge role in that. I talked to some of few of my Buckeye buddies, and the Buckeye Alumni Association. They want to get behind and just be involved and see how they can support. As well. And I think just that overall community feel, just the energy that was surrounded by just announcing the team. I mean, we didn't announce a head coach, like I said earlier, we didn't announce the team name, no colors, no nothing. And so, but just the overall excitement, man, is there. And so I think that, again, it's going to translate to the field. I think we've put together, a good front office. We have Rich Whitmire, who is our COO. And, we got Jeff Bowler, who's, from Monumental, who's actually helping put this thing, helping us put this thing together. And obviously you got Ted, Ted, who obviously believes in this thing to the core, and is doing everything he can to make sure that Columbus is a success for the whole entire league.
Yeah, cool. So before I let you go, let me just give you a last little plug. Where can fans go to get their reservations or put deposits, and how much is a deposit down for season tickets, and approximately when will they be hearing about seat arrangements?
Yeah, so I would say, so first of all, ColumbusAFL.com. That's, again, just ColumbusAFL.com. You can go there, put your deposit down for season tickets. I believe it's only $25. to do so. At this point in time, I'm not 100% sure when they'll be hearing back, but I would say fairly soon. I would say probably sometime in the March range. Probably when they can get people down and we get a full staff fully hired. I think we're just transitioning to some of the other line items just to make sure that's clear and cool and we're ready to roll. But it won't be long at all. I mean, if you look at it right now, I mean, it's 2:14 today. It's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day, everybody. But it's Valentine's Day, and things are rolling fast. Before we know it, it'll be March 14th,
Yeah.
and April 5th, it's coming up. Camp is starting. You know what I mean? So, so all the fans that's going to put down deposits, I'm pretty sure they'll be in contact as soon as possible.
Okay, well, we want to thank you for being on our first show for the 2019, Dominic. That would be a great way to start things off and having the new kids on the block. I know there was that other new kid on the block, but they came in a little bit before you, so now you're the newest kid on the block. You can't say Atlantic City or anything,
Yeah.
But we'll go with you guys, in Ohio and CBus and everybody. So we want to thank you for your time and having this little conversation and giving us information and feedback for the Columbus.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to Atlantic City, man. Shout out to Coach Ron James. I hope they go out and kill it this year, man, and put on for the entire league. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for the whole league. I'm just excited to be back in the league, man. Columbus, we here. We're ready to say Ohio against the world, baby. Let's go.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot, and go out and enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day.
I will. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Okay, welcome back. I want to thank Dominic Jones for taking his time out yesterday on Valentine's Day to sit down and have a nice conversation with me and to get some information, some background information on what's being done for the expansion franchise of Columbus AFL, and also for the people who may not be aware of what Dominic or how his affiliation into the league is and what relationship he has with the league. We started out with the background information, him as a player, and his transition to learning from player to becoming a front office staff member. So once again, thanks, Dominic, for taking the time out on your Valentine's Day for having a conversation with us. Once again, if you want more information on anything Columbus AFL, go to their website at columbusafl.com. I'll have a link down in the description below on this video channel, and of course on our podcast descriptions too. So with that said, let's go ahead and transition into our next point of topic. It was going to be the AFL broadcast and where you can find the games this year. But before that, I sort of hinted prior to the interview with Dominic, and then I sort of at the end did bring it up of what's happening, how a future AFL Hall of Famer has made his announcement recently that he's coming out of retirement and he's coming back to play for the Arena Football League, and that's Donovan Morgan. So I want to take time out and say, welcome back, Donovan. You're a great player. I've had the time to meet you the last couple of years, especially when I covered a few of the LA Kiss games down in 2016 down in Anaheim. So I want to, and the times that you'd come into the arena where I used to root for my team, the SaberCats. So I want to say welcome back. You're a great player, a great asset to this to the league. The fans truly appreciate what you put out and put forth into not only on the play on the field, but your outreach into the communities of the teams you play for. So he played, like I said, most recently played for the Los Angeles Kiss up till their demise in 2016. And then he's also played for Philadelphia Solos, just to name a couple of teams. But now, who knows where he's heading to. Excuse me. So, well, it's one of 6 teams, we could say. But with that said, welcome back, Donovan. Look forward to seeing you in your Captain Morgan poses at midfield at arenas. So now let's go ahead and talk about where can you find the Arena Football League this year. Well, as it may have been already noticed, that the contract deal with CBS Sports Network, which is the cable version or the paid version of CBS Sports Net or CBS Sports, the contract with that, the relationship is now over. The league chose not to renew their contract, and that probably had, also the broadcast probably did not choose because they put into this new spring league that's out there, the outdoor spring league that's out there that has just started. So they chose to go that direction. So with that said, only times you'll see the Arena Football League games on actual physical TV broadcasts will be if the local teams decide to partner up with their local TV stations or local sports networks, regional sports networks, and broadcast it that way. Other ways that you can see, you'll be able to see it on AFL Now, which is an OTT platform, over-the-top platform on arenafootball.com. And then they'll also probably take that feed and simulcast it onto their AFL Facebook Watch page. So this is a different page that you have to like from the Arena Football Facebook page. This is their Watch page. This is basically Facebook's version of YouTube. They're trying to do the long-form video platform and what have you, and to allow live stream content and content creation over there. And then you have Monumental Sports and Entertainment has their also OTT. Basically, is what is the AFL Now OTT is structured after, and that's Monumental Sports Network, or MSN. And you'll be able to watch a lot of the games, mainly the Washington Valor game and the Baltimore Brigade game. But I'm sure they're opening it up just not to carry those two teams because they're owned by the same company that owns MSN, Monumental Sports and Entertainment, with Ted Leonsis and Roger Modi out there. So that's basically where you can find the games. So once again, just to recap, there's no schedule of which games are going to be on which platform and have you. That's still being worked up. Even just having the time of day when the game's going to kick off time-wise at each venue is still being tweaked out. So just keep a lookout at ninthmannation.net. We will have our schedule up as soon as it becomes official. We'll actually have a schedule up later tonight of the general, and then the time will be to be announced at a later time. And once we get that word from each individual team of the times at their games, then we'll go ahead and update it onto the site. Once again, also our website, ninthmannation.net, is also mobile friendly, so you can get it on your mobile platform device. We know because mobile is the way to go, and you have to have the mobile responsiveness in your website to keep access to it. Excuse me, that was a surprise. Okay, apologies for that. But yeah, so once again, AFL games can be seen on Monumental Sports Network, or MSN. They do have a mobile app where you can download it. Another question is, with all these, like, okay, let me continue here. Monumental Sports Network, or MSN, AFL Now, AFL Facebook Watch page, and then, of course, the local market pickups, so, like local TVs. Well, there'll be NBC Sports Washington, or NBC Sports Philadelphia, or, if Albany has their, regional or local TVs pick it up, whatever. I know Albany last year did all their games streamed on radio. So with that. So now, as far as for being able to watch it, people are going to be saying that they don't want to watch it on these apps and watch it on their, their phones, and they don't have data, or on their tablets with the same thing. Or you don't have to be stuck at a computer, to watch it online. If you're not worried about interacting, if you have those devices, it's fine. If you're willing to do that, that's fine, because that gives you the option to interact with them. Because there's usually, like on Facebook Watch, on the right side of your screen, there's usually a chat forum there. It'll give you a chance to interact with the game and the other viewers of the game. But if you're not worried about that, you simply want to sit back and watch the game as if it was regular TV. I know, at least on Apple TV, you could download the Monumental Sports Network app, and you can also download the AFL app and the Facebook app. Those three apps, basically, which covers the streaming for the season on Apple TV. You could just log in with your account like normal, like you would do on a computer, and just do a one-time login, and then you could click onto it, and then you'll be able to watch it right there on your TV as regular. So streaming through your network, through connected devices. I think Monumental and AFL Now are also available, I believe, on Roku. I believe Facebook may be also available on Roku. As far as for Amazon Fire TV, I believe Facebook is available, but I'm not sure if AFL and Monumental are. So, but yeah, those are the details on where you can get. So mainly on Apple TV. I know if you're not an Apple fan, you don't have an Apple account or whatever, you don't want to do it. But if you want to watch the games, I know Apple TV is the most consistent part, or more streaming platform that you can watch it and hook it up to your TV and watch it in HD, stream it over your network. So that is that. Let me go make when I started out the show, I told you where everybody could find our podcasts. There are 2 more platforms that I'm actually currently working on to get the podcast available on, and that's one, Deezer Radio. That's Deezer Radio. So I'm working with that, and then I'm also working with Pandora. So eventually, we'll get those the podcast on 2 more platforms. Like I said, I want to get this out there and too much exposure. And then to continue that, I want to announce that there is a new podcasting, I guess you could say foe or whatever, but I welcome, any kind of conversation discussed in League and any kind of content that can be created to help expose League. The more content, the better. There is a new podcast called State of the Empire, and it's basically more team-related stuff for Albany Empire than it is more League coverage. But yeah, they'll do some League stuff, League news and all that stuff, but mainly it's more team-focused and team-oriented for the Albany Empire, and it's called State of the Empire. And you can get those on the standard on SoundCloud, at least right now. I don't know if they've submitted their RSS feeds to other platforms, but yeah, you can get it on SoundCloud. And they're hosted by the voice of the Empire, both on radio and in the PA, AJ Cannell and Mike Falvo. Mike Falvo, which I had here first on Inside the Nation last season. We had a little conversation. So you could go back in our archives and you could check that out. But yeah, so State of the Empire is one, and then you have also the long tradition of Arena Fan. Or not Arena Fan, but Arena Fans AFL Tonight podcast. The State of the Empire just this past week just did their week 4, so they got a little head start on all of us on their podcast show. And then Arena Fan has launched their first week of podcasting this past week too, for AFL Tonight. So that's with John Stark. Tim Capper is the host, main host on that. So, and Ben Fentanyl, Mr. 50 Yard Films, Ben Fentanyl. So I guess they're still on the podcast, so they're part of the Arena Fan team now too. So yeah, those 3, they're doing it, and they're on multiple platforms as well, so you can catch them out. I have links to their sites, Arena Fan on ninthmannation.net, and you can click on the link. Now, one thing about the website, it's up and running right now. The home page is having some kind of full load problems. I want to disclose this. I didn't have plans to disclose this. I just wanted now to start closing out the show, but I want to disclose that the Ninth Man Nation site has some kind of loading problem with my hosting server for the home page, but the rest of the site works fine. It's just for some reason the home page doesn't want to load up fully, like the scoreboard on top. It does not want to hold up or fully load up, making it usable. The slider image for the more news I have doesn't want to up, and the footer down below. Minimal effects, but it's there. So what I'm working on is I'm going to be going and switching on, updating the site and maybe revamping the look of it a little bit. So there may be some, delays on some of the information that gets posted, but hopefully I'll have a seamless switchover integration to a new design theme that I'm going to be doing. With that said, so I just want to disclose that. So, okay, so that's it. I want to once again thanks Dominic Jones for coming on. I wish him best luck on establishing and building the Columbus franchise. Columbus, get out there, like I said, and then also, of course, not to forget Atlantic City, South Jersey. Come on, get out there and support the Atlantic City and go to the Boardwalk Hall and have a good time out there at the Boardwalk. Fill up, and then, of course, the rest of the teams we know. Go ahead and do your due diligence, and I hope the improvement of Baltimore this season is improved after hosting the Arena Bowl last year. I hope that fans come into Royal Farms. I know Royal Farms is not in the best shape. It's one of the older arenas too. Not the oldest anymore now that Baltimore is in the family here with the AFL. But yeah, so that's it. Next week, as of right now, it's going to be next Friday. Like I showed this, it's going to be on Fridays. I'm not sure. We don't have a guest lined up yet, but we're going to be working on it. And as soon as I get word or confirmation of a guest, I will post it on our social medias. You can follow us, or you can like our Facebook page at Ninth Man Nation. That's the number 9. Any of our shows, except for the podcast, is Ninth Man Nation. So it's number 9 and then THMAN and Nation. So Facebook.com/Ninth Man Nation, Instagram.com/Ninth Man Nation, Twitter.com/Ninth Man Nation. So we're there. And just be sure to follow us and like our social media platforms for the latest news that we have and updates on scores when the games happen. Most likely during the season, we'll do live tweeting the games, so make sure you do follow us on Twitter for the live score updates. Basically, we'll just be doing score updates. We also have live scoring on the game on the website too. We have a scoreboard on there, so we have, it might be not real time, but like maybe 10-15 second delay. But yeah, so just go ahead and make sure you follow us on our social media for the latest news and latest updates and announcements on our next show. Inside the Nation here, and then of course Inside the Nation live Q&A on our Facebook page, and then Inside the Nation post-game live for all the games. So that's it, and I look forward to talking to you later. Take care.